Ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about the future of the world, we often look at the giants, the big economies, the big powers, the countries that dominate the headlines. But sometimes the real story of tomorrow is not written in the places where the spotlight shines brightest. Sometimes it is written quietly in the places we least expect. Today, I want to take you on a journey to one such place, Pakistan. A country often misunderstood, often underestimated, yet slowly becoming a name that Europe cannot ignore. You see, in business and in life, the smartest opportunities are rarely the most obvious ones. They are the ones hidden in the noise, waiting for those with vision to see what others overlook. Europe is beginning to see this, not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly and steadily. Why? Because Pakistan is more than just a developing country. It is a bridge between regions, a hub of young energy, a partner in climate action, a voice of resilience, and a market full of possibilities. Its geography, its resources, its people, and its evolving leadership are all shaping a story that Europe is starting to pay attention to. And as we unfold this story together, I want you to think not just about what Pakistan is today, but what it can become tomorrow, and what the role Europe can play in that transformation. Because the nations that look beyond stereotypes and dare to collaborate in unexpected places are the ones that lead in the future. Stay with me till the end of this talk, because by then you may see Pakistan not as the world once painted it, but as a country Europe quietly turned toward for reasons far more important than most realize. Leadership and soft power have always played a vital role in how nations are perceived globally, and Pakistan's image in Europe has gradually shifted, in part due to voices that emphasize dignity, justice, and independence in foreign relations. Among those, Imran Khan stood out for presenting Pakistan as a country with aspirations beyond aid dependency and conflict narratives. His emphasis on climate change, fairness in international dealings, and the right of developing nations to carve their own path resonated with many in Europe who value principled leadership. By speaking at global platforms about issues like Islamophobia, environmental protection, and human dignity, he positioned Pakistan not as a problem to be managed, but as a voice to be heard. Europe's quiet turn toward Pakistan is not merely about economics and security, but also about the way the country projects itself on the world stage. Leaders like Imran Khan tapped into the soft power of moral arguments, reminding the world that Pakistan's struggles were tied to larger global challenges, such as inequality, climate vulnerability, and cultural respect. This narrative offered Europe a chance to see Pakistan as an ally in shaping a fairer and more balanced international order. When Pakistan speaks with confidence about shared human concerns, it appeals to European societies that value principles as much as profits. Soft power also extends beyond political figures to Pakistan's culture, sports, diaspora, and intellectual contributions. The Pakistani diaspora in Europe has played a crucial role in bridging gaps, serving as doctors, engineers, entrepreneurs, and academics who add value to European societies while maintaining ties to their homeland. This presence humanizes Pakistan and strengthens people-to-people connections that diplomacy alone cannot achieve. In addition, Pakistan's growing influence in arenas like cricket and its recognition as a resilient nation in the face of repeated challenges build an image of perseverance and determination. For Europeans who admire resilience and innovation, this creates a sense of respect that gradually transforms into partnership. European governments and institutions increasingly recognize that beyond geopolitics, there is a cultural and human dimension to engaging with Pakistan that adds depth and sustainability to the relationship. Ultimately, leadership and soft power have given Pakistan a renewed global voice, one that Europe has started to notice. It is not only about what Pakistan offers strategically or economically, but also how it presents itself as a nation striving for fairness, justice, and progress. This moral positioning, when combined with tangible partnerships, explains why Europe is quietly but steadily turning toward Pakistan with greater openness and respect. Pakistan's geographical position has always been a defining feature of its global importance, but today it is becoming increasingly relevant for Europe. Sitting at the crossroads of South Asia, Central Asia, the Middle East, and directly connecting to China, Pakistan is uniquely placed to serve as a bridge for trade, energy, and logistics. In an era where connectivity determines prosperity, Pakistan's location makes it one of the few countries in the world with the potential to link multiple regions into one economic corridor. For Europe, which is striving to diversify its trade routes and reduce overdependence on single supply chains, this makes Pakistan an important partner. The China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, often referred to as CPEC, is a flagship project under China's Belt and Road Initiative. But its benefits are not confined to Pakistan and China alone. Through Gwadar Port, which is positioned close to the Strait of Hormuz, Europe gains a shorter and safer access point to the markets of Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. This port drastically reduces the distance and cost of transporting goods to Western markets, creating opportunities for European investors and exporters to expand their influence in regions that were previously more difficult to access. For industries that rely heavily on efficient supply chains, such as manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, and technology, this connectivity can be game-changing. Moreover, Central Asia is emerging as a region rich in natural resources, from oil and gas to rare earth minerals. Pakistan provides the most practical overland routes for bringing these resources to international markets. For Europe, which has been searching for alternatives after disruptions in traditional energy supplies, Pakistan's position offers a pathway to energy diversification. In particular, the overland connectivity that Pakistan provides could help Europe access Central Asian gas pipelines and renewable energy initiatives that are developing rapidly in the region. Beyond trade and energy, Pakistan's role as a connector aligns with Europe's vision of global integration. By engaging with Pakistan, Europe positions itself at the heart of a new multipolar world where commerce and diplomacy are increasingly shaped by the ability to link diverse regions. It's no longer only about buying and selling, but about creating shared networks of prosperity. In this sense, Pakistan's geography is not just a matter of maps and borders. It is a source of strategic influence that Europe is beginning to recognize more seriously than ever before. Europe's energy landscape has undergone a dramatic shift in recent years, especially after the Ukraine crisis disrupted traditional energy supplies. As European nations look for ways to reduce dependence on a single source, diversify their supply chains, and accelerate the shift toward renewable energy, Pakistan has started to emerge as a country of interest. While Pakistan itself is not yet a major energy exporter, its position and untapped potential in renewable energy make it highly significant in Europe's long-term energy strategy. Pakistan is blessed with some of the most promising renewable energy resources in Asia. Its vast river systems originating from the Himalayas provide enormous hydropower potential that is still largely underutilized. Europe, which has been a global leader in renewable energy technologies, sees an opportunity to partner with Pakistan in developing these resources. By investing in hydropower, solar, and wind energy projects, European countries can both support Pakistan's green transformation and create new avenues for sustainable energy cooperation that can benefit European industries in the long run. Another important aspect is Pakistan's growing role as a transit hub for energy. Its geographical proximity to the Middle East and Central Asia positions it as a natural energy corridor. Europe, which is actively seeking alternative energy pipelines and LNG routes, can benefit from Pakistan's strategic position in facilitating access to Gulf energy resource. The idea of transnational energy projects, such as pipelines running through Pakistan, is no longer a distant dream, but a real possibility that Europe is beginning to consider more seriously. The 2022 floods in Pakistan, one of the most devastating climate disasters in recent history, also changed the global conversation around climate and sustainability. For Europe, which has positioned itself as a champion of the green transition, partnering with Pakistan is not only about energy, but also about shared responsibility for tackling climate change. Pakistan's vulnerability to climate shocks makes it an ideal partner for joint initiatives in renewable energy, green financing, and sustainable infrastructure. These projects could allow Europe to expand its influence in Asia while living up to its climate commitments. In this context, Pakistan is not just another developing nation in need of support, but rather a potential ally in building a sustainable and diversified global energy future. Europe's quiet turn toward Pakistan reflects the recognition that energy security and climate cooperation go hand in hand. And Pakistan offers a rare combination of opportunity, urgency, and strategic positioning that few countries can match. For Europe, Pakistan represents an emerging market that is both dynamic and full of untapped opportunities. With a population of over 240 million people and a rapidly growing middle class, Pakistan is steadily transforming into one of the largest consumer markets in Asia. This demographic shift is significant for European businesses seeking to expand their global reach. Rising consumer demand for quality products, advanced technologies, and lifestyle services provides Europe with a gateway to introduce its goods and services to a young, increasingly urbanized society eager for innovation and quality. Trade relations between Pakistan and Europe are already on a strong footing, particularly under the European Union's GSP Plus scheme, which grants Pakistani exports preferential access to European markets. This framework has boosted Pakistan's textile and garment sector, making it one of the top suppliers to Europe. However, beyond textiles, there are growing opportunities in pharmaceuticals, IT services, renewable technologies, and manufacturing components. For European companies, this means that Pakistan is not just a supplier, but also a partner in creating mutually beneficial trade flows. Pakistan's digital transformation adds another dimension to its appeal. The country has one of the fastest growing tech sectors in South Asia, with startups attracting global investment and a thriving pool of young software engineers and entrepreneurs. Europe, facing its own challenges in technology competitiveness, can find in Pakistan both a partner and an outsourcing hub for innovation, artificial intelligence, fintech, and e-commerce. This synergy not only reduces cost for European firms, but also helps build long-term cooperation in a sector that defines the future global economy. Manufacturing and industrial partnerships are equally promising. With rising labor costs in many parts of the world, Pakistan offers competitive advantages through a skilled workforce, lower production costs, and a government eager to attract foreign direct investment. Europe can benefit from relocating parts of its supply chain to Pakistan, ensuring resilience and diversification at a time when global disruptions have highlighted the dangers of overdependence on a single region. Taken together, these opportunities create a picture of Pakistan as a country that is no longer seen solely through the lens of challenges, but increasingly through the lens of potential. For Europe, engaging with Pakistan's markets is not just a matter of short-term trade gains, but a strategic investment in a young, growing, and interconnected economy that will play an important role in shaping the future of regional and global commerce. One of the less discussed but increasingly important aspects of Europe's engagement with Pakistan lies in the field of security and counterterrorism cooperation. Over the past 2 decades, Pakistan has been on the front lines of the global fight against terrorism, sacrificing lives, resources, and stability to confront extremist networks that threaten not only its own sovereignty, but also global peace. For Europe, which has faced its own challenges with extremism and security threats, Pakistan's experience and role in this domain have become vital points of cooperation and learning. Pakistan's intelligence and security apparatus has developed extensive expertise in tracking, dismantling, and neutralizing terrorist networks that operate across borders. These capabilities have often proven valuable to international partners, including European nations, who recognize the importance of shared intelligence in preventing global threats. Collaboration with Pakistan allows Europe to gain insights into regional dynamics in South Asia and the Middle East, regions from which many global security challenges originate. This level of cooperation creates a foundation of trust and shared responsibility that Europe quietly values, even if it is not always publicly emphasized. Another layer to this relationship is Pakistan's role in promoting regional stability. As a country that borders Afghanistan, Iran, China, and India, Pakistan occupies a central position in one of the world's most sensitive geopolitical zones. Europe understands that peace and security in this region have direct implications for its own stability, particularly in areas such as migration, narcotics control, and the spread of extremist ideologies. By supporting Pakistan's efforts to stabilize its neighborhood, Europe indirectly secures its own future. Counterterrorism cooperation also extends into areas like financial monitoring, border control, and cybersecurity, where Pakistan's partnerships with European institutions have deepened over time. As terrorist organizations evolve and adopt new technologies, Pakistan's on-ground experience combined with Europe's technology expertise creates a synergy that enhances global security measures. This collaboration not only mitigates immediate threats, but also strengthens long-term resilience against emerging challenges. In recent years, Pakistan has also sought to redefine its global image, moving away from being seen as a security problem to being acknowledged as a security partner. Europe has quietly begun to acknowledge this shift, seeing in Pakistan a nation that has endured immense costs for global stability and yet continues to offer cooperation. This recognition is not driven by charity, but by pragmatism, as Europe understands that without Pakistan's role in counterterrorism and security cooperation, the world would be a far less safe place. The issue of climate change has brought Pakistan and Europe closer in ways that extend far beyond traditional diplomacy. The devastating floods of 2022 which displaced millions of people and caused billions in damages, highlighted Pakistan's extreme vulnerability to climate disasters, despite contributing less than 1% to global carbon emissions. For Europe, which has long championed the cause of green diplomacy and positioned itself as a leader in climate action, this tragedy was not just a humanitarian concern, but a wake-up call about the interconnectedness of global environmental challenges. It underscored that climate change does not respect borders and that partnerships with vulnerable nations like Pakistan are essential for building a more sustainable future. Europe sees Pakistan as a vital partner in advancing global climate goals, particularly because of its diverse ecological landscape that ranges from glaciers in the north to deserts in the south. These environments are under threat, and their preservation is critical not only for Pakistan but also for regional and global climate stability. Pakistan's vulnerability makes it a testing ground for innovative climate adaptation strategies, sustainable urban planning, and green technologies, areas where Europe has both expertise and strategic interests. By collaborating with Pakistan, European nations can strengthen their influence in shaping climate policies in South Asia while ensuring that their technological advancements in renewable energy, water management, and disaster resilience find practical applications. Green financing is another area where the relationship is growing stronger. Pakistan requires massive investments to transition toward a sustainable economy, and Europe, through its banks, development agencies, and institutions, can play a pivotal role in funding climate-resilient infrastructure. This partnership benefits Europe as well, as it provides opportunities for European companies to enter Pakistan's energy and technology markets while reinforcing their commitment to global environmental responsibility. Furthermore, Pakistan's active participation in international climate forums has amplified its voice as a representative of climate-vulnerable nations. European leaders recognize that aligning with Pakistan strengthens their credibility on the global stage, especially when pushing for climate justice and equitable funding mechanisms. By working with Pakistan, Europe signals that its commitment to the green transition is not limited to its own continent, but extends to those most affected by climate crises. This growing bond around climate change and green diplomacy is redefining Pakistan's global perception. It is no longer just seen through the lens of geopolitics or security, but as a partner in humanity's most urgent struggle. For Europe, this partnership is not only about helping a vulnerable nation, but also about securing a shared future in the face of a challenge that affects every corner of the world. In conclusion, Europe's quiet but steady turn toward Pakistan is not a coincidence. It is the outcome of shifting realities in trade, energy, security, climate, and leadership. Pakistan stands today not merely as a country of challenges, but as a country of opportunities, a bridge between continents, and a voice that speaks for justice, resilience, and shared prosperity. From strategic geography to renewable energy potential, from trade opportunities to counterterrorism cooperation, from climate partnerships to the power of leadership and soft diplomacy, Pakistan has shown that it has much to offer to Europe and the wider world. The real question is not whether Europe should engage with Pakistan, but how deeply and how quickly it can seize the opportunities that lie ahead. As we move forward, let us remember that partnerships built on trust, fairness, and vision outlast those driven only by necessity. Europe and Pakistan have before them a chance to write a new chapter, one defined not by distance or misunderstanding, but by collaboration, shared values, and a mutual desire for progress. I want to thank you all for giving your time, your attention, and your openness to understanding, a perspective that is often overlooked. Good luck to everyone here as you continue in your own journeys of growth, leadership, and impact. And thank you once again. It has been an honor to share these thoughts with you.